America's Pulse Network welcomes you to the Pulse Podcast. Today we've got a packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you well informed. So, please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the APN's The Pulse Podcast talks about, then please share the Pulse with others. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. Tonight's APN's The Pulse Podcast starts now.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello. This is Alexandra Levine. I'm your moderator and host tonight for The Pulse. I just want to say that today marks 1 year of the America's Pulse Network. A year ago today, we started this network. It is a growing network, and we'll get into later in the show our highlights. But we want to thank everybody who has been a part of this network, continues to be a part of this network, our viewership, the people who have been posting on our group chats for the entire year. And we just have more and more to come. So thank you, everyone, for being with us for an entire year. This has been an amazing year. Breaking news, everybody. All 32 endorsements that President Trump gave to either incumbents or just regular candidates, people that never ran for office, they all won last night in Texas and other states. The power of President Trump's endorsement is extremely powerful. That's what the Democrats don't understand. That's what the rhinos don't understand. The president announced today, because he's tired of GOP infighting, that he will be the main endorser to endorse who should be the Republican nominee for the Senate race in Texas. Now, will President Trump endorse the incumbent, John Cornyn, or will he endorse the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, who went through hell last year and, of course, was completely exonerated because he wanted to stop the fraud of the elections, and he believes in free and fair elections. Now, I can tell you personally, I support Ken Paxton. I support what he stands for. John Cornyn is a huge rhino, but John Cornyn has a lot of oil money and a lot of influence in the state of Texas as being a head senator for a long time. Of course, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who's a rhino, he's Mitch McConnell light. He said, I hope that President Trump endorses my good friend John Cornyn. But we'll see. Again, it is the president's decision. It's not John Thune's. It's not Mitch McConnell's. It is the president's alone. But I do hope and I do pray that President Trump does endorse Ken Paxton, puts it to rest, puts an America First guy in as the United States Senator of Texas, and let's keep Texas red again. As you know, the governor, Greg Abbott, he won his 4th nomination for governorship. He will be governor again in the state of Texas. As the governor of Texas again, we need a proper U.S. senator. We cannot have John Cornyn go against what Greg Abbott has been doing. That's why we need a proper senator in there. So we will keep you abreast on that update. If President Trump does endorse either Ken Paxton or incumbent Senator John Cornyn, again, we pray that he endorses Ken Paxton. But again, it's really important to note that Jasmine Crockett, Dan Crenshaw, Al Green, all these rhinos and socialist Democrats are out of a job. And we'll talk about that later in segment 3. But again, it shows you how powerful President Trump's endorsement is and how powerful President Trump wants Congress to be. Now, again, guys, it's very important that we understand the stakes here, that we understand that the 2026 midterms are very important and that we all should get out to vote. And we all practice our right to vote. So please do it. Every vote counts this time. And President Trump is doing everything he can to pass the SAVE Act. Again, it's on Senator John Thune. Why isn't he getting the senators together to pass this law so that it goes into President Trump's desk and he passes it into law permanently? Why is there such a holdup? We know, because the rhinos in the Congress still want to keep their power. They don't want to have free and fair elections. But it's to the American people. It's for the American people to decide. I do want to thank the American people for voting against the rhinos and the Democrat socialists last night. Thank you for voting right. I hope that this momentum continues. Well, guys, we have a jam-packed show tonight. We are going to be talking about passing the SAVE Act. We're going to be talking about Hillary and Bill Clinton's depositions. We are going to be talking about elections coming forward. And of course, we will reminisce about the wonderful year that the America's Pulse Network has had. let's bring up two of my hosts. We have Damon Galdo from the Jersey Shore, the Hammer.
Hello.
Woo! There you go. And of course, we have our good friend Popeye the Sailor Man, Seth Eisenberg from the Conservative Corner. You'll love him. And of course, we have our wonderful woman who's in Florida, in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Maybe she'll talk about bananas tonight. Our own based mother, Eleana Barbera.
Hello.
Awesome. And coming up later in our segment around 8:15, 8:30, we have two special guests. We have Jack Brangan from New Jersey, as well as Constance Ditzel, and we will bring them on as soon as they come on. We have a special announcement for them when they come on. And that should be around 8:15, 8:30, we will bring them on. So let's bring everybody up that's here. So segment one starts with Obama. He ran, but President Trump said, I'm going to stop Iran. As we actually heard today, that the person that was trying to kill President Trump in last year, 2024, he was actually annihilated and killed today. So he's done. And of course, you know that the main guy, Khomeini, was killed by the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, with the help of the U.S. Navy under Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. And this has been in the works, guys. I mean, you got these crazy conservatives that are like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But this has been in the works. This has been in the works. And, you know, my question goes to Seth Eisenberg here, because you're very conservative like myself. You know, what do you say to the people that, you know, are very upset that this is happening? You know, they, of course, we all believe in the America First doctrine here, but they feel that, you know, this war was unnecessary. American lives are being killed. What do you say to those people? Oh, you're muted. Can you?
Iran's been killing American people for decades. I don't know why all of a sudden now they're concerned about it. They're the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world.
Correct.
And that doesn't just affect us or just affect Israel. It affects the entire world. And most of these people that are complaining are Facebook generals who, number one, have never served in the military, have never left their home state, barely leave their basement, but now they're world affairs experts. Most of them probably haven't been with a woman in their entire life, but they're gonna talk to everybody else like they know everything. I'm personally, you know, if you don't know what you're talking about, just shut up. And that's the problem. People don't shut up because everybody's been told that they're special. So everyone's opinion is now special, and it's important. If you don't like what we're doing in Iran, that's great. That's fine. You know, save it for your friends when you're doing your poetry recitals at Starbucks. Support the troops, and then just shut up. Just shut up. I'm sick of people. I'm over people. I've done too much people stuff today. They make me sick.
Damon, Sharon, let's put up the Facebook post video that President Trump said today at the Oval Office.
We were having negotiations with these lunatics, and it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And
Damon Galdo, question two. Do you agree with the president on that? Do you agree that Iran was going to attack first? That's why we had to attack them first.
Yes, I think Iran will attack at any time they possibly could. They've been held back from our allies and ourselves for a long time, and I do believe that they were going to. And I would say the only good thing is the Iranian citizens. It seems like they are very happy that they're being replaced. So maybe we are liberating them. I don't want to get into a 20-year war that everyone keeps talking about. I don't think we're going to. I think it'll be over in weeks. And I think one thing I like about Donald Trump and this president is he doesn't just talk about different things. He doesn't cave to anything when there's an election coming up. Now, this is an important election coming up, and obviously in November, the midterms, especially for me. But I'm happy that he did it, even though it could hurt. You know, this election cycle, it possibly could. But if he ends it in a couple of weeks, it's about time somebody stepped up and just did what everybody wanted to do and what they were thinking and what needed to be done. I'll say that.
Well, that's a good follow-up, Eleana. Do you think, what Damon Galdo just said, do you think this could affect the elections coming up, or do you think this had to be done at the time that it had to be done?
I don't think it's going to make any difference on the elections, to be perfectly honest. I mean, the people who are screaming against this, the people that Seth described, they're not voting Republican if you put a gun to their head. So I don't think this is going to affect the elections, except to say it might help the Republicans, because there are, so many Iranians who are living here in America who are now pro-Trump. I don't know where they were before. So I'm hoping that it can actually help us, help, the right. And this show of strength is, I think it's fantastic. I just want to say something that's been bothering me all day, though. They this morning announced the names of the service members who lost their lives. They announced 4 this morning. They hadn't finished family notifications. And one of them was a woman named Nicole Amor. And it really bothers me. It bothers me that they all died, but I'm just going to go and, while I have the mic, say we should not have women in combat or combat zones anywhere that they could be potentially captured, because this woman is a mother of 2. These children now have no mother. Had she been captured, God only knows what kind of horrible torture and rape she would have endured. And I don't know. I'm just on a soapbox about that because it's really bothering me.
No, that's fine. No, that you're entitled to say that. You're very entitled to say that. But I can tell you that when Jessica Lynch, that story with her, and this was when President Bush was in power, and that was horrible because she shouldn't have been there. She shouldn't have been there, and she was raped and tortured and almost died. And I know when Trump came in, he said that we'll never have another Jessica Lynch situation. I know Pete Hegseth feels the same way. So thank God that this woman wasn't raped or tortured or almost bled to death. Yes, she died. But I know that, Pete Hegseth said, we will have women at the front lines if we feel that they are capable. But he knows that men are, especially when it comes to combat, men potentially can be stronger than women. That's why he got rid of all the transgenders out of the damn military. So if this woman was put in combat, it's a possibility that she had the skills to do it. Yes, it's very sad that she died, but I don't think Pete would just blatantly put someone in harm's way like that if he thought, she wasn't capable, if that makes sense.
Was she in a combat role, or was she in a support role in a building that was missile?
I think she was in Bahrain.
I thought she was in a combat role.
No, when I said she shouldn't be in combat or a combat zone, like potential, like she shouldn't be. I am just of the opinion that she shouldn't have been there at all, and women shouldn't be there at all. And that's very old-fashioned, and I'll be called a misogynist, and it's not because I'm a woman hater. It's because I think they should be protected, and we can be as tough and feminist as we want, but at the end of the day, look at what happened to Jessica Lynch.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, if she was in combat, it's one thing. I don't think women should be in combat, period.
Kuwait. She was in Kuwait. Forgive me.
But if you're in a combat zone, I mean, if she has a special capability, maybe she's a code cracker, maybe she's something else, then I'm all right with that. But I don't think women should be in combat at all, fighting with men. Because we talked about this before. I think it was probably like 10, 15 episodes ago. And I know for me, I've never been in combat. Obviously, I've never served. Seth did. But if I was serving, next to a woman, and I would be worried about protecting her more than my mission. That's just me. Maybe it is old-fashioned, like you said. It would throw you off.
I will say this. When I was in the Navy, ships were not co-ed. There was all male ships. Communication ships and hospital ships like the USS Comfort were co-ed. There were both men and women on both ships. And and this is the exception, not the rule. I've met women who are in the Navy that I would gladly serve next to as opposed to some men I met. That is the exception.
Yeah.
And I will say again that my daughter, I would put her up against most men in a 3-rounder and probably put my money on her. And she was in the Navy. So yeah, I agree with Eleana. Women shouldn't serve in a forward role or combat role. Support roles are fine, and like Sec Def said, if they should be, but that's the exception, not the rule. Like I said, I've met thousands of people when I was in the Navy, and maybe a handful of the women I met, I would go, yeah, they probably could serve in a combat zone and probably kick some serious ass.
Yeah, I didn't say that they couldn't kick ass, and I don't mean to imply.
No, I didn't say that.
I just want just for the listeners, like I don't mean to imply that women, can't develop, shooting skills and combat skills the same as well as men. But I'm repeating myself. I don't know.
Damon, share. We're gonna he's gonna put if I can speak, a couple slides, and then we're gonna analyze them. Please put up the first picture Damon shared. All right, so this is kind of funny meme. Ayatollah Khomeini is now eligible to vote as a registered Democrat in the upcoming midterms. This is kind of a funny meme that I found from the Republican Army. Next image, please. There we go. So this is from the man, the Don. So the radical left Democrats, a party that's completely lost its way, are complaining bitterly about the very necessary and important attack by the United States and Israel and Iran. What most people understand is that they are only complaining because I did it. If I didn't do it, they would be screaming, why didn't Trump attack Iran? He should do it immediately. There's nothing surprising about this. It's the same people at the other night, the State of the Union address wouldn't stand for anybody, including a mother who lost her beautiful daughter to an illegal alien, a great and brave helicopter pilot who got the Congressional Medal of Honor, or a 100-year veteran warrior, whose bravery is legend. The fact is, whatever I do, they will be on the opposite side. These people are sick, crazy, and demented, but America, despite them all, is now bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Make America great again, President Trump. And we talked about that already. Let's put up the next slide, please. So this one's very interesting, and this is going to tie into Tucker Carlson. I want to start this out with you, Seth. So freaking Megyn Kelly on her freaking show, she, according to her, President Trump and Marco Rubio are under the thumb of American Jews, saying that American Jews control our president, Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth. And there we have it. She's an anti-Semite and a Democrat. So Megyn Kelly on the Iran war, was quoting Mark Levine, and she said, Mark Levine wanted it. It's his war. She said, our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson, that's obvious. They're the ones who have been pushing us into this. So my question to you, Seth, do you agree with Megyn Kelly on this? Do you think that Israel is controlling the power of the purse? Israel's telling Trump, you need to do this, you need to do that. Israel's controlling the strings here, like a George Soros in the background. Is this Mark Levine's war, in your opinion?
Well, number one, isn't Megyn Kelly a lawyer?
Supposedly, yes.
Yeah, so number one, she's a whore. She'll say anything and do anything. No, she'll do anything for money.
She's a whore.
She'll do anything for money. You pay her the right amount, she'll argue any case for you. So I don't put any stock into what that twat waffle says. if she's that bored and she has that much free time on her hands, go make me a sandwich. Mm-hmm. Shut up. Nobody wants to listen to you. You're old news. You're clinging to your 15 minutes, and it's been over for a couple years now. I am so sick of hearing about how 2% of the world controls everything. Are we that weak and that scared that we think Israel runs the entire world? And if that's the case, then let them run it, because obviously we're too weak to stand up for ourselves, and we need somebody to do it. I'm so sick of hearing the anti-Semites run their mouths. So like Tucker Carlson, he needs to just dry up and blow away already. I am so fucking sick of him with that I just got done pumping the neighbor's dog look on his face all the time. The man lies like most anti-Semitics do. He's lied about being detained by Israel, lied about Qatar arresting Mossad agents. Every time he opens his mouth, it's more bullshit that comes out, more lies. Same thing with what's-her-face, Candace Owens, who's now attacking a widow because it seems to me she's jealous that he didn't marry her. So she comes off like a scorned woman, another piece of shit that needs to shut up. And then the Hodge twins, weren't they used car dealers for a while, pimping out trucks and stuff on the internet? Everybody's got something to say about Israel. But the funny thing is, none of these mouthpieces put up what they're saying. They stand behind the camera, run their mouths, but don't do anything. They don't go to Gaza to fight Israel. They don't enlist to go do anything. They're cowards. They are ballless wonders. They're like neutered little dogs. They just bark and bark and bark and bark, but never bite. People need to stop listening to them. They just do it because they're getting paid. Fuck them. They're anti-Semite racists.
Lawless wonders.
Very true. We actually have Jack Brangan, our special guest. We're going to bring him up. He's been in the green room for a couple minutes. He's actually the star of the new show, New Jersey State House Watch, which we'll get into later in the program. There he is. Hey, Jack.
So, Jack.
Oh, you're on mute.
You're muted, I think, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're muted.
You're still muted. You got to unmute yourself. Nope, can't hear you. No.
Now?
There he is.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'll say hello to everyone again. So, Alexandra, it's nice to meet you. At least.
Yes. Thanks for bringing on. So, Jack, my question to you. So, we're talking about, of course, the Iran war. Megyn Kelly goes on and saying it's the Israel war, it's the Jew war, that the Jews are the ones that are pushing this. The Jews are the ones that told Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth to go in and do this, and that it's Mark Levin's war. What say you about this?
No, I don't see it that way at all, frankly. I think the idea of having peace in the Middle East, it's almost like an oxymoron until Donald Trump. Now there is, the real prospect of a future in the Middle East, even Gaza, turning that in, potentially into the jewel of the Mediterranean. And the only thing that's stopping that is Iran. And I think that Trump is a peace through strength president. This has nothing to do with, it certainly has to do with Israel, but it is not because of Israel. I think Trump really wants to bring peace to the world. And you simply cannot do it if Iran is still, pursuing, a bomb and all that sort of thing. It's just never going to happen. I think we're on the cusp of just a wonderful thing in the Middle East. And it's hard to imagine. It's going to be a miracle what can take place in the Middle East. And frankly, being the oldest one here, I remember when Iran was a free country. Mm-hmm. And it was a wonderful, quite prosperous country, and there was free trade, and there were students that came over. There was an exchange, so it was really a tremendous thing. And I hope and pray we get back to that. I just don't buy into any of this thing that Israel is pushing the United States. This is Trump pursuing peace, world peace. That's how I see it.
I agree. Now, Eleana, the Iranian administration, the government, they're actually working with President Trump here. The Iranian president's actually going to be a speaker at CPAC, of all places. So he wants peace. He wants the Iranian people to take over. He's tired of the Ayatollahs. He's tired of the terrorists, in his country that have, caused a lot of the suffering for 46 years plus. What say you about him, about the Iranian government, the heads, they want the peace. But I guess my second question is, okay, if they want the peace, then why didn't they go in and annihilate the Ayatollahs years and years ago?
Well, I would think that the reason they didn't take it over is because they didn't have the strength or the will to do it, where we do have the strength and the will to do it. They say, I want this. I've wanted this for years, but I didn't do anything about it. Back on the whole Israel thing, though, I just want to say this. It is so frustratingly to watch people be so naive to think that America has no stake in this, and we have nothing to gain by destroying, the regime of cruelty in Iran. Of course we do. And even if you fully believe that Israel is controlling the United States, to think that every single interaction with Israel is just at Israel's command is foolishness, and it's naive, and it's a level of brainwashing that I see on the left, where they just can't see anything except the way they want to see it. So anyway, with regards to that, I to circle back, I just hope that the people who didn't have the strength to stand up and take their country back have the strength to run the country properly now.
I agree. We have Constance Ditzel. She's coming up right now. She also is the co-host of the New Jersey State House, and I wrote that really fast, show with Jack Brangan, and after the show, after we're done, we will have a whole promotion of their new show, which is next week.
Hey, good evening.
Hi, Constance. So, Constance, we're talking about, the Iran war with Israel. One thing that's very important is, of course, people blame the Jews for this. They blame Israel. They're saying that this is Israel's war, that Israel's pushing this. This is Mark Levin's war. Israel's controlling Trump here. They're controlling Marco Rubio. Megyn Kelly even said it on her stupid podcast. What say you about this?
Have you talked about my...
Oh, Constance.
Oh, you're breaking off.
You got to get a better connection. This always happens.
Have you...
Well, okay.
I don't know what to say.
She's frozen.
We're at the drop.
Damon shared, work with her, and then when she comes back on, we'll bring her back on. Let's go, Damon shared. Let's go to the next pictures, please.
What's my name? Skip.
Yep, you're getting skipped, pal.
So this one is very so. Oh, Damon, Galdo, you're not being sick. So
don't let him guilt you into anything.
So anyway, moving on. So this was important that nobody really covered except for our network. And this had to do with frickin', the new governor in Virginia. She doesn't give a damn about the illegals. She doesn't give a damn about the illegal terrorists that live in her state. She's okay with having them, all over the place. And of course she goes against ICE and DHS. So literally, the woman takes office. She signs the bill stating illegal criminals, it's okay for them to just do whatever they want. And then this is what happened. Several people stabbed on the Beltway with shots fired by Virginia State Police. Outer loop of I-495 at Little River Turnpike, a suspect is down after shots were reportedly fired by Virginia State Police. At least 4 victims have been stabbed on the Beltway after an attack. Also in Texas, huge attack, anti-Semitic attack happened the day of us going into war with Iran. So Damon Galdo, and I've said this for years, and people have always said this, what happens over there always comes back and happens here in our nation, unfortunately. So what the hell? So how you running for Congress? I know this is more of a federal level more than a state level, but how can we fix this on the federal level where we don't have a bunch of anti-Semitic attacks happening on our soil?
You have to stop the propaganda. And get the people. You have to stop what they're teaching in the colleges as well. I mean, that's a huge thing, and that's why I want to talk about the whole Iranian conflict that we're having going on right now. With people saying that Israel controls, our own government. Now, do they sway them? Do they want them to help them out? Of course they do. I'm tired of hearing about APAC. Yes. Do they donate to a lot of people that get into Congress? I mean, I'm not getting any of their money, so don't worry about that. I wish I was, but it's not happening. But yes, they do, because they're we talk about this on Seth's podcast. They're the size of the state of New Jersey that I live in, and they're surrounded by enemies that just want to annihilate them off the face of the earth. Do they own a lot of things? Yeah, because they're smart. They own Hollywood. Yeah, I guess so. But still, it's just there's certain things that they have done that. I'm sorry, if you didn't come up with it, if you didn't figure it out, then don't hate on it. And every single culture, every country has red on their shirt. There's blood on their sleeves.
Oh, there's some static going on. If you have to do something like get a piece of paper, please put yourself on mute. Because we can hear everything.
I mean, every country has blood on their sleeves. No matter who you say, I don't care. But it's just the flavor of the month right now. That's what they're looking at the Jews in Israel, and the propaganda is like Hamas was winning the propaganda war big time. So, and that's what happened. And then it started infiltrating the United States. Now, I can't stand when people keep saying that Israel controls the United States. There's no way in hell that Israel controls the most powerful country in the world. So that's all. They're our ally. We need to protect them. They protect us. They have agents in those countries that call death to America all the time, and they give us intel. They help us out. And again, it's all because of the Epstein files too. A lot of this is people believe, Epstein, he got all these congressmen and senators and even presidents stuck on that, and now they own them. Well, where are the files at? I mean, I know that everyone has their conspiracy theory, but if I don't see proof on it, I'm not going with it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, was that incident, was that illegal alien that was involved in that shooting?
Yes.
It was. Okay.
Yeah, it was a huge incident. But it's all interconnected because, as you know, under the Obama-Biden administration, a lot of illegal terrorists came through our country. And of course, the president and DHS are trying to get them out, but they're still here. And President Trump, going to the point, he said in the Oval Office, he says, I do whatever I want. He said, Israel doesn't control me. He's like, I make all the decisions myself. I'm a grown guy. I'm an unemotional guy. I'm a businessman. So he put the kibosh on that. So, Seth and I, we had our holiday called Purim. So Purim is very important because it's the story of Esther. We literally are going through Purim 2.0 right now, where the Persian people are taking back their country. That was the whole point of Purim, was that the Jewish people of Persia took back their country, took back Purim. And it was actually Esther who was Jewish, and she married a non-Jewish king. And she told the non-Jewish king, she says, you made a mandate with this evil guy Haman to kill all the Jews. Well, I'm Jewish. I have to die too. And he's like, no, I love you. I can't do that. No. So this Jewish queen convinced her non-Jewish husband to overturn everything and to kill Haman and to hang Haman and his sons and his horrible wife Zeresh. And then her cousin Mordecai actually became King Ahasuerus' trusted advisors. So I'm telling you, history repeats itself. It really, really does. And, I'm going to end the segment. We'll go into the next segment. But this is really important, guys, to understand that this had to be done and that Israel is not forcing us to do this. This is something that President Trump decided to do on his own, working with Bibi Netanyahu, working with Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth on this. And I can tell you there's a lot of countries, the ones especially like Hungary that I was just at, that supports Israel, that supports the United States, are very happy about this. And Javier Milei, the guy in Argentina. So it's very interesting to see which leaders are supporting this and which leaders are not supporting this. And that's something to really look at going on into the future. Coming up after the break, we're going to be talking about the Clinton depositions. There were supposed to be closed meetings, and they were, but a lot of them were sent out to the public. It should have been open hearings, in my opinion. But we will get into that coming up right after the break. Stay with us on the Pulse, guys. We are live on Spotify. We're live on YouTube, Rumble, True Social, 1 year anniversary, guys. So please stay with us.
People are chatting too. So
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up. Because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. But America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. The New Jersey State House Watch, hosted by Jack Brangan and Constance Ditzel. APN's The Pulse is moderated by either Alexandra, Damon, Eleana, or Seth. Also tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Join the revolution because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Well, thanks guys for coming back on. I'm Alexandra. I'm moderating the Pulse tonight. Our segment 2 starts out with the Clinton depositions. We're going to put up the first image Damon shared. So the first image is Oversight Committee. We're glad you think so. You lied to the press and said that Chairman Representative James Comer did not give a complete, accurate description of what Clinton said exonerating President Trump. Guess what? The videos are out. And once again, you have been exposed. We're going to roll the tape.
And Chairman Comer said that President Clinton's response was that it was for you to decide, and then Clinton went on to say that President Trump has never said anything to him to make him think he was involved. Now, obviously, we don't have the transcript of that position, but I would love your and what.
Yeah, I think the best response to that is for you to view the complete record of what actually he said.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything, but I do not want to leave the impression, since there was no follow-up question. The president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't.
President Clinton did bring up some additional information about some discussions with President Trump. I think that the way Chairman Comer described it, I don't think is a complete accurate description of what actually was said. So let's release the full transcript so you can get a full record of what actually was said.
As I said earlier, the only conversation I had with President Trump about this was in the early 2000s. And I have no information that he did anything wrong. I just want it all out there. I want everybody to get it all out there and let everybody.
So President Clinton there literally just exonerated President Trump. And it's so funny because the Democrats are screaming, we have to release the Epstein files, release the Epstein files. We want to see Trump's name. Well, President Clinton just said President Trump's not involved at all. Never talked about, anything illegal dealings with Epstein. Never did any type of dealings, pedophilia dealings with Epstein. I mean, there it is, black and white for the whole American people to see. So my question to Eleana is it time now to put the kibosh on this and stop trying to force something that is not there? Stop trying to say and push the narrative that President Trump is involved in the Epstein files or involved with Jeffrey Epstein, period?
Well, I would love for them to do that, because if there were hard evidence that he was involved in any sort of criminal activity with Jeffrey Epstein, it would have come out years ago. I mean, we're on repeat with this at this point. I do not think that Bill Clinton saying it is the thing is the nail in the coffin, because half the things that come out of his mouth are probably lies. We know he has lied under oath before. I don't trust him. Of course, he's going to say that President Trump didn't do anything, because if there is, he wants to cover his own skin, and you don't rat on the guy who could pardon you if you get in trouble. So I don't think Trump did anything, but I don't want to put too much weight into what Bill Clinton has to say on this. This whole thing about Trump, though, let's bury it.
Jack, your response.
Yeah, I agree, except it's never going to be buried because it's Donald Trump.
Right.
And the people pushing this have a Trump derangement syndrome, and it's never going to stop, until Trump is out of office. So, it's time. And I guess I would prefer Clinton to say what he said than remain quiet. At least there's some defense there for, for the Trump corner, as feeble as it might be with that it's coming from Clinton, but it's still something. And I hope it is put to bed once and for all. So
now the funny thing and stuff is that Hillary Clinton, of course, hasn't said anything in support of President Trump. She hasn't exonerated him. She hasn't said, oh no, Trump wasn't involved. Trump's never been involved. And it's interesting because during the campaign trail, President Clinton was the one that told Hillary, you better go up to the Rust Belt. You better go up to Michigan, Wisconsin. Trump's going to win these states. Like, you better get your butt up here. And it's funny, in the last few years, President Trump has actually been kind of, I don't want to say praising, but he has been more positive towards President Clinton than, of course, his wife, Hillary Clinton. And we all know their relationship, their marriage is ridiculous crap, BS, whatever. So, Seth, my question to you is, what do you think of all of this? What do you think that Hillary should have the same, I would say, response that her husband says in regards to President Trump, or what do you think?
if Jesus Christ himself came down and testified in front of Congress and said Trump has done nothing, people would still not believe it. At this point, let it go. If they don't believe him, they don't believe him. If they believe him, they believe him. It's never going to change. It's a waste of taxpayers' money at this time because, like everyone said, if there was proof that he's done something, it would have been released by now. Nothing has been released. All we have are talking heads and politicians saying, well, there's evidence that he's done X. Okay, that's great. I don't care now. I really don't care because nothing has happened, or you would have pulled the trigger on this years ago. Let it go. There are far more important things going on in the world that we can prove that there is evidence for than this. This is a witch hunt at this point. Now they're just making stuff up to try to get him in trouble. And it's at this point, it's ridiculous. The only person we're hurting now are the victims because we're not getting to the truth of the matter. We're chasing unicorns. And we're not going after the people who are responsible. So shame on anybody that keeps pushing this narrative that Trump is like Satan incarnate and like punches nuns and kicks puppies and eats lemons every day. I'm sick of it. I am because if he is a bad person, all you're doing now is making him a victim because there's no proof to anything anybody is saying. It's like a high school clique. You got the mean girls and the quiet girls, and the mean girls always picking on the quiet girls. Even though what the mean girls are saying are bullshit, there's nothing to it. They're just being mean because they can be. That's what Congress is doing. They're just saying stuff because they can. Because in this day and age, nobody's held accountable for what they say. Right. You can slander and libel anybody you want to, and nothing happens to you because I'm a politician. It's ridiculous. Let the man go. Stop this already. If you got
aren't there films? Aren't there films? Wasn't some of the activities filmed?
Yeah, I mean, they got pictures of Bill Clinton, but they can't show us pictures of Trump. Come on, this is getting ridiculous. It's stupid.
Exactly. Questions to Damon Galdo, because our friend Donald Willinger, he asked, has a single Democrat said Trump did anything wrong with Epstein?
No. Well, they do say that he's in the files. That's all. They don't have any proof of it. So what's going to happen now is Bill Clinton's going to go down, and the far left are going to say he must be in on it. Bill Clinton is definitely guilty. Why would he exonerate Trump? Why would he say that Trump had nothing to do with it, that as far as he knows? So that's going to be the new narrative that they're going to spin. So
the Jews did this.
It was the Jews. All the Jews.
Always the Jews.
Yeah. So, but that's what's going to happen. They're going to spin it, and they're going to say, well, Clinton's saying that because Trump's protecting him. And because Clinton must be on the Epstein files, which I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't. Honestly.
Well, he was on the Epstein files. We saw that.
Well, I mean, as far as like incriminating evidence, like serious evidence. But I don't know. That's the way they're going to spin the narrative because they need something. They have the TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, you look at Trump; he wasn't supposed to win in 2016, and he happened to win. And then they tried to impeach him. They had the Russian collusion hoax. Tried to impeach him, 3 times? And then Russian collusion hoax. Then he goes to run again and try to bankrupt him, put him in jail, kill him. So everything they did to stop the guy.
Well, that's why the Democrats are trying to win the majority in the House because they want to impeach him again.
Yes, exactly. That's what they're going to do. So that's why I go to voteDamon.com and vote for me. So that they won't win the majority. But anyway, that aside, that's what this is. It's all like a.
So Damon, share. Sorry to cut you off because I want to bring Connie here. So Damon, share. Let's put up the second image. So this is the second image. So during his 4.5-hour deposition before the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, former President Clinton said that he first flew on Epstein's plane in 2002 and took trips to Asia, Africa, and Europe. He later added, quote, "There was nothing that I saw when I was around him. It made me realize he was trafficking women." And the video shows Clinton recounting Epstein meetings, comments on Trump. So Constance, let me bring you in on this because we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein and the Clinton deposition. So President Clinton, he admitted that he flew on Epstein's plane, but he also admitted in some of the videos, yeah, I flew with him, but I didn't see him with young girls. I might have saw young stewardesses on the plane, but I wouldn't say there was young women on the flight with us. What say you about all this?
First of all, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
and
good.
Your connection is much better. And you
very
look great.
Good. I think we're working with skilled liars. nothing they say means anything to me anymore. You know, for the past 4 years, we had a lame duck president. That was countries probably run between the Clintons and Obama. I think we don't know exactly, but these people are extremely skilled at dodging the bullet. Nothing they say really means anything to me. I don't know what they have to interview them for the point of trying to get to the bottom of it, but they are very skilled at dodging the truth. And the email server has gone down too, so it really doesn't mean anything to me.
Yep. Damon, Chair, let's put up the first video of Clinton in front of the deposition, or doing his deposition.
One, two, three, go.
Damon.
When you saw photos of your husband in a hot tub laying on a beach and getting massaged by other women, and you knew that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in some of these trips and these things, did it concern you at all?
I'm here not to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability.
When you saw your husband in these photos with young women being massaged, what went through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband?
I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not.
Neither.
So she absolutely lied. She was there. She was there with her lover, Huma Abedin, who she's had multiple relations with. Her husband actually said that my wife likes women more than men. He said that multiple times. And there is mass amounts of evidence that Bill Clinton was in pools with young women, that he was doing stuff with young women, and that he got massive massages from young women, as well as people that Epstein hired. So again, Elena, to your point with this, she doesn't want to comment on speculation. She was there.
Yeah.
She was being asked about her feelings. What went through your mind when you saw your husband with other women? How did that make you feel? I wouldn't answer those questions either. I would flat out say that this is between me and my husband. That is nobody's business. Please, why am I in the seat of feel like I have to defend the Clintons? I can't stand these people, especially Hillary. But she absolutely, I think, said the right thing there. I'm not sure. I didn't know that you're saying that when he was in the hot tub, she was there, present.
Yeah, she wasn't literally in the hot tub with him, but my point is she was presently there on the island with him. She was in, there was reports of her in the hot tub with Huma Abedin and other young women on certain times of the year. And she was there with Bill Clinton and his Secret Service and her Secret Service.
Well, okay, that makes sense. I didn't see the whole video though. If there were times where they asked her those questions, when you were on the island, what did you see? Right. Who else was there? Those are legitimate questions.
That's right. That's what they should have asked her.
How did you feel when you saw your husband? How do you think she felt? Come on. It's actually
she doesn't care because, like her husband said, my wife likes being with women more than she likes being with men.
She didn't care. That did not mean she didn't care. A, it's still her husband. B, this is a woman who cares more about her public image than anything. This is humiliating for her. I mean, of course she cared. And to be put in that position is a further humiliation. I thought the questions were inappropriate.
Well, my wife's answer, just for the record, would have been, "That's why I killed him."
Yeah, those questions would have been asked at her murder trial. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Damon, Chair, let's put up the next video, please, of the deposition.
And throughout today's questioning, we've talked about the various properties that Mr. Epstein owned. You testified to have visited the Manhattan townhouse. Is that right?
Yes, I did go there once.
And just for clarification, it's been reported that what we've seen from the files from the DOJ, Mr. Epstein decorated his home with creepy and disturbing artwork. Did you notice anything unusual as far as his decor at his
Keep
residence?
in mind, I was only on the first floor, ground floor. I did not see anything like that there in any of the rooms that I saw.
It's been reported that Mr. Epstein had cameras on his premises. Did you notice any cameras at the Manhattan townhouse?
I didn't, but that may have been the whole point.
Mr. Epstein apparently rented a property in Boston at one point. Did you ever visit that property?
No,
Did you ever visit Mr. Epstein's apartment in Paris?
no,
Did Mr. Epstein or Miss Maxwell ever invite you to his property in Paris?
no,
Did you ever visit Mr. Epstein's home in Palm Beach?
no,
Were you ever invited by Epstein or Maxwell to visit the Palm Beach property?
I don't think so.
Did you ever visit Ghislaine Maxwell's New York townhouse?
No, I don't even know that I knew she had a townhouse. I knew about the only thing that he ever said anything to me about Jeffrey was the New Mexico ranch, and I never went there.
So Seth, I turn to you. Do you believe anything that Bill Clinton said? Do you believe that he didn't go to his property in Paris, that he didn't go to his Palm Beach townhouse? Do you believe that he didn't know about Ghislaine Maxwell's townhouse? What say you?
You mean, Mr. I didn't have sexual relations with that woman?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Mr., can you please define what you mean by was? I mean,
Yep.
that idiot, that hillbilly, the man's lying through his teeth. I don't think he can remember the last time he was honest about anything. And then responding to what Elena was saying about Hillary Clinton being asked inappropriate answers, she allowed 13 U.S. citizens to die in Benghazi. I hope they embarrass the shit out of her. Hope they humiliate her to the point where she takes her own miserable life. She allowed and watched 13 Americans die and then said, what does it matter now? She is lower than whale shit. She deserves everything that happens to her in spades. I wish they would drag her out of the Congress, put her on a rail, tar and feather her, and run her through the city. She's a murderer. A murderer. I feel no pity for her. I hope they show her pictures of Bill Clinton having sex and go, hey, did you know about this? You were married to him, and he's banging another chick, and he's your husband. How does that make you feel? She deserves every miserable thing that can happen to her, and she doesn't deserve nice things. She deserves everything that happens to her. I don't feel an ounce of pity for her at all.
I just want to say, Hillary, I didn't say any of that, just so you know.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not feeling suicidal.
I don't want to break my
Yeah, I can say 100%. I can say 100% that Bill was lying when he said that he didn't go to the Palm Beach house. There is massive amounts of evidence that he was there. He also lied when he said that he didn't know about Ghislaine Maxwell's townhouse in New York. And I can tell you why, because if we all remember, Ghislaine Maxwell was invited to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. Chelsea Clinton's husband, Mr. Medvinsky, he's not Jewish. His father's the Jew. His mother's not Jewish, so he's not Jewish. But the Medvinsky family was very well connected to Ghislaine Maxwell's family. Ghislaine Maxwell was Jewish. She was part of the IDF, and she was part of the Mossad. And there's a lot of business dealings between the Medvinsky family and Ghislaine Maxwell's family. So when Hillary Clinton under oath said, we didn't know Ghislaine Maxwell was invited, she was a guest of someone, she was a +1. That was BS. That was complete BS. So they have had connections with the Maxwell family, with the Epstein family for many, many years. And it was also through Chelsea Clinton's marriage and relationship with her husband, Medvinsky. There was a reason why Hillary made sure that Chelsea Clinton married into the Medvinsky family. There's also a lot of reasons why Hillary Clinton pushed Huma Abedin to marry Anthony Weiner, as well as pushed Huma Abedin to marry Alex Soros. It's all interconnected. They're all, that's the triangle right there. And more needs to be investigated into that. But going into follow with Jack, I mean, do you believe Bill Clinton here? Do you believe he didn't know about the New York townhouse or the Palm Beach townhouse?
I believe this is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, that the child trafficking has been going on for probably a decade, if not more. I believe there's more people. I believe there's more evidence. I don't know. Did they incriminate themselves in any way at all during that deposition? Are you
I mean, according to reports, yeah. So according to Congress, they did purge themselves a lot.
Well, yes. I mean, if there's hard evidence that then, they got to go to jail. They have to bring charges then. If they can.
I agree. The problem is that, as you know, Bill Clinton's a part of the CIA, and they're all protected.
Seth, you think they'll go to jail?
No. If everybody who went to jail, if everybody who deserved to be in jail went to jail, Congress would be empty. We'd have no government. There'd be nobody there. Nobody's going to jail for this. Why would anybody even think there's going to be accountability for this? There isn't going to be. None.
Yeah, this has to do with underage children, though. I think that's the red line for the American people. That is.
The American people have no say in the government. The government is its own body. They don't listen to us. They haven't listened to us in decades. They don't give a shit what we think.
But if
even above the children, it's still the economy. People say they care about children and sex trafficking, and they just say it, and then they go back to their Instagram.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to find a patsy or two who really had nothing to do with it, that they can hang this all on, and they're going to go, look, we solved it. We've got the people who are responsible. We're sending them to prison. And then the people who really did it will never see a day inside a jail cell their entire lives. None.
Right.
Correct. But I also say, we never really know what goes on behind the scenes. It's a new administration, new people involved. So I always have that optimistic, hopeful feel. But I mean, from what I've seen so far, yeah, deposition, testimony after testimony. Where's the results at the end of the day? The American people are looking for the results. Majority of American people are frustrated that there hasn't been results. And as Eleana has pointed out, and Seth and so forth, because Eleana has done extensive work on this, there's massive amounts of sex trafficking, child trafficking, human trafficking, and now we're just hearing about it. This has been going on for years. And it's people like Eleana and people on this network that are finally bringing it to the forefront. But I praise President Trump for bringing it to the forefront, but more needs to happen. Let's put up the next video. Damon shared, please.
It's on here.
Yes, we can hear you.
Was Jeffrey Epstein on? You apparently took 26 flights on planes connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Was he on every flight you were on?
Was he on every flight I was on? That's a good question.
If you know.
What?
If you know, their flight manifest.
Yeah,
do you know?
There'll be a record of it, but I think he was, or certainly on most.
You think he was? Well, that's okay. Was Ghislaine Maxwell on every flight you were on, as far as you remember?
The same answer. I think she was, but there'll be a record of it.
Okay. When you took these flights, you're saying a lot of them were on behalf of your foundation or your charitable work, correct?
Yes.
Who did you normally bring on these flights? I assume employees of the foundation, whatever.
I brought people who worked with me, especially people who would have to follow up on the fundraising, or people who were involved in my AIDS work. I bought people who...
Just like I never go anywhere alone. You never went anywhere alone, right?
What? No.
We always have an
And I had the Secret Service with me. And then on occasion, I had people who had volunteered to help us and wanted to see what we were doing. Right. For example, I think it was on one of these trips, I think, that I had my first trip for the man who's now the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, and his wife. They gave me.
Now, it was actually proven that J.B. Pritzker, who's also Jewish, did go to the island, was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. That came out recently. So it's interesting how Bill Clinton said, I think, he didn't want to throw his good friend under the bus. But we all know, and it was proven evidence, that J.B. Pritzker and his cousin, both Jews, they were there with Jeffrey Epstein. They were there on the island. President Clinton, it was proven multiple times that he flew constantly with his Secret Service to Epstein Island. I can tell you his number 2 buddy, Doug Band. I'm sure you guys have heard that name floating around. I bring it up all the time. Doug Band was the number 2 guy to Bill Clinton. You couldn't get to Bill Clinton without talking through to Doug Band. Doug Ban actually warned Bill Clinton not to go to Epstein Island for fear that there was going to be, young girls there and that it was a setup, it was a trap. According to Doug Ban, Bill Clinton did not listen to him. He undermined him and did his own thing. Doug Ban recently exposed in the last 6 months about Epstein Island, about the Clintons, and now he's in hiding. There's been calls, and I have called for the subpoena of Doug Ban, because Doug Ban can bring a lot of light into these depositions and really put the kibosh on all of this. Doug Ban also had big issues with Chelsea Clinton. He knew all about the Medvinsky family and their illegal dealings, overseas dealings. So it's very interesting to hear, what Bill Clinton is saying, and he's being very meticulous how he's saying things. So was Hillary Clinton, but there were a lot of times throughout this deposition where he was caught up in a lot of lies. And, to the point to Seth, do you think that, Bill Clinton just went on these trips for business? What kind of business was it?
Funny
business. About Alan Dershowitz. What do you know?
What do I know about Alan Dershowitz? So, so Alan Dershowitz did go to the island. I can tell you that Alan Dershowitz had nothing to do with the young girls. He wasn't involved in the pedophilia ring, but he did go to the island.
What about the Ukrainian connection? It's been floating around X, some connection with Jeffrey Epstein and the Ukraine. Have you talked about that, or did you look into that at all, Alexandra?
I did. So there was a lot of business dealings going on with Jeffrey Epstein and Ukraine. That's why George Soros and Alex Soros, like the Soros family, is heavily involved in this. Again, that's the connection between Huma Abedin and Alex Soros. So we have to dig more into that. That's why Zelensky is in there right now. That's why there's a lot of countries that are pulling away from Zelensky because of all of these pedophilia business dealings. Ukraine has a lot of pedophilia. They have a huge pedophilia ring. It's a huge business over there. And that's why the country of Hungary has pulled away from them. Israel's pulled away from them over the years because of this. But yeah, there's a lot of connection between the Soros family, Zelensky, Ukraine, Huma Abedin, and that whole pedophilia ring going on in Ukraine.
Well, I agree with Jack Brangan that I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much we don't know.
It's huge.
We haven't heard, I got to feel like Barack Obama is involved in this.
Big time.
Barry Soetoro has got to be in here somehow. And I don't know if the Democrats are demanding all this information. I feel like it must extend even beyond TDS, because, there's so much more. And who's going to benefit here when this all comes out? I don't know. There's like the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of unanswered stuff that's not quite clean yet.
I mean, so far, like I said, when we all knew this, President Trump is in the clear on all of this. And that was the main thing. They were all, the Democrats, everyone was pushing President Trump, pushing that he was a part of all this. And again, more exposure needs to be done. That's why I said I know, doing the depositions of the Clintons, I know why they're doing it, but you're not going to get the real answers from them. You need to subpoena Doug Ban. You need to subpoena the right people that will actually tell us the real story. And actually subpoena, in my opinion, the Secret Service, Bill Clinton's Secret Service, Hillary Clinton's Secret Service. They were personally there. So they saw a lot of things going on.
Right.
And I feel that if we, listening to the Clintons is not going to do us any justice. We need to listen to the outside people that personally worked for Hillary Clinton or worked for the Clintons to get to the right answers, in my opinion. I really do. Yes. We have 1 minute, Seth, and we got to go to the next segment.
I just want to say something, and it's disgusting that I feel the need to say this. I don't care if it's Trump or the Pope. If anybody is found beyond a reasonable doubt to be involved with Jeffrey Epstein and pedophiliism and sex trafficking, they need to be castrated with a rusty pair of scissors and left to bleed to death in a ditch. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they're Republican, conservative, liberal, communist, whatever. If they're involved in this, and you can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, they need to be executed immediately and publicly, and then their names stricken from the record anywhere so they're forgotten about. I'm so sick of hearing about people saying, well, if you're conservative, you don't care if Trump did it. There's no conservative I've ever met in my entire life that would give somebody a pass for this simply because they share the same political party. Only Democrats would do that. We wouldn't do that. And I'm sick of hearing it.
Well, I hope the
No.
Republicans don't give a pass to the incumbent Congressman Tony Gonzalez, the Republican, who had an affair. They must have either threatened the woman, but she killed herself. She put herself on fire. And now this guy's in a runoff. No, he should not be allowed to be reelected. I'm sorry. I find it very disgusting what he did.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That's a Republican.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
somebody mentioned Barack Obama. I mean, this goes.
we have like 10 seconds because it's already 9:05.
I know, but I got
Elena had her hand up.
Go ahead, Jack. Elena, you finish and then we'll go to the next segment.
Just throw in Pizzagate and the Podesta brothers. This is all connected back into that time era.
And of course, Hillary Clinton lied about the whole Pizzagate thing. We all know it was a huge pedophilia ring. There's a lot on the Podestas. Those men should have gone to jail. The fact that they're walking free is disgusting. But yeah, like I said, more, the real people that really worked under the Clintons really need to come out and really need to be subpoenaed. Talking to Hillary Clinton and Bill is not gonna get the job done, in my opinion. Go ahead, Elena.
I would like someone in Congress and someone of any consequence to find out who is handling Epstein's customers now. Just because the drug dealer goes to jail doesn't mean that the druggies are clean.
That's a good question. Good point.
All of these elites, their sick fetishes are still there and they still need to be fed, and someone's feeding them.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Ending the segment right now, we're going to be moving on to the next segment. Don't forget, guys, we are live right now on the America's Pulse Network. We are on Rumble. We're on Spotify, True Social, YouTube, Parler, Facebook, Instagram, X. We're on everything now. And the beauty of this is that you can be on YouTube and Rumble at the same time. You can be on X and Rumble and YouTube and True Social and TikTok all at the same time, watching us, liking and subscribing us. So please, guys, very important. And that has been the huge expansion of this year. We didn't have that when we first started. So this is awesome. We're like on 7 to 8 platforms now and growing. So please, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again to the people that are currently in the chat. I know that there's people watching nationwide and worldwide that are not commenting, but we know that they're watching and we appreciate their support. And we will be right back after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine, the host of The Pulse tonight. Thanks for watching with us. And segment 3 starts. Can our elections be saved? As you all know, we are waiting patiently for the SAVE Act to be passed. Will it be passed? What is Senator Johnson doing? Why is there delay after delay after delay after delay? We're all hoping that it was going to get passed before the State of the Union. Now it's a week after the State of the Union. It's still not passed. And I think they're all like going on vacation again. So what the hell is going on? But last night, as I said in my opener, my monologue, the American people woke up. Thank you, dear Lord, for getting rid of the rhinos and the Democrat socialists of the party, specifically in the state of Texas. Jasmine Crockett no longer has a job. Dan Crenshaw, who's a POS, former Navy SEAL, no longer has a job. Al Green will no longer have a job. And of course, President Trump will decide the fate of the next U.S. Senator of Texas. Is it going to remain Senator John Cornyn, or is it going to be Ken Paxton? As I said earlier in the show, I support Ken Paxton. I really hope that the president endorses him. The president said, whoever I endorse, they're going to be the nominee. And if I don't endorse you, you bow out, you get the hell out, and you endorse the person I endorsed. So we'll see what happens. And of course, Brandon Gill, who is the son-in-law of Dinesh D'Souza, he won wholeheartedly in his primary, 91%. Love Brandon Gill, great guy. So
there was a resolution also on that ballot concerning Sharia law.
Oh, yeah, that's right. In Texas. Yeah, they banned Sharia law. I mean, the fact that it was even on the ballot, to be honest with you, is asinine to me. I mean, the fact that we have to worry about Sharia law in this country, I mean, I understand it because, again, we have a lot of illegal terrorists and a lot of illegal aliens and criminals that are in this country, especially in Minnesota, Michigan, Virginia, New Jersey, Maryland, and so forth. It's always the liberal states, and they ruin it for everybody. But the fact that it was even brought up in the state of Texas, that baffles me. But again, that's all the illegals that Joe Biden and Obama brought in and kept an open border for all of us. No more, no more. So I applaud. And of course, Governor Greg Abbott, he will be the governor again. He won his nomination wholeheartedly. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she'll remain the governor of Arkansas because of President Trump. But again, it shows you how strong President Trump's endorsement is. All 32 people he endorsed, they all won last night. So it's really, really important, the power of his endorsement. So let's go to the first image, whatchamacallit, Damon shared. So this is Miss Jasmine Crockett. So goodbye, sister. The race baiting Jasmine Crockett lost in her primary for U.S. Senate. She's saying there was cheating in the Democrat U.S. Senate primary in Texas. I thought Democrats didn't cheat in elections. So this woman, you know, she's against free and fair elections. But of course, when it comes to her election, she's screaming that there was cheating involved. Damon, Galdo, what say you?
Sorry, you're making me laugh. There's cheating involved.
Democrat. And it's funny because she didn't go all ghetto when she lost. She actually talked like a civilized human being,
like she used to
when she lost.
Like she used to talk. She acted like the normal person, like she used to be.
Exactly.
And, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm glad she's going. I mean, were there cheating? I don't know. I mean, ask your Democrat Party. I don't know to tell you. I know in the state of New Jersey, I know Donald Norcross, who I'm running against. He has been so active on social media and doing town halls that he has never done before. And I'll tell you why. The reason is they're trying to pass the SAVE Act, trying to get rid of the mail-in ballots other than absentee ballots. Mm-hmm. So that is the reason why he's afraid. He's afraid that the Democrats can't cheat and get elected again. And it's funny for her to say that her own party cheated against her. I mean, it's like an oxymoron. So,
no.
Yeah, it's not what, yeah.
Well, I was going to pivot this to you, Eleana. So yes, people are happy that she didn't win the primary, but the guy that did win is like so far left in his thinking. He said that God is non-binary, and you know he believes that we should have transgender surgeries again. That young kids should be allowed to have transgender surgeries without parental consent. I mean, this guy is really radicalized. I mean, she was ridiculous in her thoughts, but they're saying that his theories, what he wants to do, are even more radicalized than her. What say you?
I absolutely think he's more radicalized. I think Jasmine Crockett didn't have two brain cells that connected in her head. She was just a puppet. Right. I think that James Tallarico actually believes the things he's saying. He is a progressive through and through. And one of the things that I want to see played on loop from now until November is him saying that he believes our southern border should be like our front door to our home. It should have a welcome mat on it.
I heard that today.
Publicly. So I am a little bit concerned. I have spent more time today looking at Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico than I have James Tallarico's opponent for November. So I want to spend some more time in the coming weeks about that, and every one of us on this show needs to do what we can to pump that person up. Only 100 seats in the Senate to represent 350 million people. We have to start taking these seats more seriously.
Right. Well, Jack, let me pivot to you again. President Trump is controlling the power of who is going to be the Republican nominee for Senate, who's going to run against this radicalized socialist. In your opinion, do you think Ken Paxton can take him on, or Senator John Cornyn can, because he's seasoned and he has got a lot of money and people know him, and et cetera, et cetera?
I know Paxton. I know a little bit more about Paxton. I mean, I know he's brought hundreds of lawsuits, against the woke establishment, and the little I don't know that much about, Cronin. I know more about Paxton. I wish Trump would get behind Paxton and, let's get him in there. I think Trump should, nominate one of them, and we support him 100%. But I like Paxton. I like the lawsuits. He's been very aggressive in the courts, so he would be my guy.
Yeah. Now, Connie, I go to you. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Ken Paxton, who I love, he's very conservative, very America first, as opposed to, this other guy who's so radical. Would President Trump be thinking, well, we have to have someone like in the middle to, beat this radicalized moron. So maybe I will pick Senator John Cornyn because he's kind of more in the middle as opposed to someone who's very, very conservative and someone who's very, very far left.
I apologize. I am not up to date on the Texas race. I will admit I'm not up to date on it, but I can't say enough about wanting to move the SAVE Act forward. You're talking to two people here from the state of New Jersey. Actually, Damon's on here now, who just had a spooky kind of election ourselves. And we're not all too eager to see that happen again. So anything that we can do to move forward the SAVE Act, we have to pull all stops, pull out all stops.
Mm-hmm. I just want to interject real quick and just say the Democrat Party has become a soulless party. They have no soul whatsoever. So, go ahead. Next person. Go ahead. Your moderator.
No, it's true.
Did they cheat? Well, they're a den of thieves. Of course, they they cheat in everything they do. So, I wouldn't be surprised if there was cheating going on here.
Mm-hmm. Now, I pivot to you, Seth, because as you know, with Dan Crenshaw's race, Dan Crenshaw was the incumbent. He's become more of a rhino over the years. I can tell you stories about that man. He's lied to me a lot about things he wanted to do for the Jewish people and absolutely nothing. And he got beat by this no-name hardcore conservative. I mean, he really got beat. I mean, the guy beat him 58%, and Dan Crenshaw was only 33%. And he's extremely conservative. There we go. So this guy beat him almost 58%, and I was right, to 39%. That's a shellacking to an incumbent. So, and Dan Crenshaw's district is very conservative. Now, when we talk about the United Senate, we're talking about, the whole state here. But actually, whatchamacallit, they're only covering a sliver, because the two senators, they break up the state. But, in your opinion, seeing that with this very conservative guy who beat the rhino incumbent, do you think, in your opinion, that Ken Paxton has a better shot at being this far left socialist extremist in the United States Senate? Yeah.
I don't care what people say about the war in Iran is going to hurt the Republicans in the midterm, blah, 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 blah. Look at what's going on now. These people are winning landslides in their primaries. Not a little bit, landslides. Mm-hmm. That's going to translate into the general election. It's going to work. Dan Crenshaw, while he was in the Navy, and, hats off to him for that, he was a rhino. The dude couldn't stick on a position without flip-flopping 35, 40 times, depending on who he was talking to. So it's good that he's gone. And we need to get rid of all the rhinos, not just Crenshaw. He's not the only rhino we have. To say that's it, that is ridiculous. There are far more than him. We need to, the SAVE Act will help. But what people need to do, and what helps, is people just need to get off their ass, Republicans, and educate themselves about the candidates. Stop listening to the news. Get off your ass and get involved. Talk to the candidate. I know Damon does things out in the public. You can go talk to him. Mm-hmm. Dan Cox in Maryland. Go talk to him. He will not turn you away. Damon will not turn you away. These people will speak to you. So you have no excuse for not knowing, well, I don't know what his positions are. Then you haven't looked into it. That's your fault. We need to stop just taking things on face, like with Crenshaw. People voted in for what? He's been in office for a while, so people weren't even looking into what he said. He's the incumbent. We should vote for him. And now that people started listening to what he was saying, they're like, holy shit, I've been voting for this fool? No, not anymore. I'm getting him out of there. Educate yourself. Educate yourself.
Yeah, I agree. And then, of course, we have Al Green, who's the idiot incumbent with his stupid signs in the union with his little cane. And, in my opinion, I don't think he's going to win his runoff. I think the people are tired of him. I haven't really looked into his runoff opponent. I don't know if he's as far left as Al Green or not. I don't know. And that's something to look at, too. And can that district be taken by a Republican? Again, you know, all of these districts were redistricted because they went back to what the real consensus was supposed to be in 2020. So a lot of these states, thank God, they've, I don't want to say gerrymandered, but they did the proper redistricting. And, you know, the states that were supposed to gain more seats are not going to gain more seats. And this is something that, you know, Governor Abbott worked on with the state legislators. And this is what a lot of states need to do, like the state of Indiana and the state of North Carolina and so forth. I know Maryland, to Maryland's credit, the Democrat majority leader, Bill Ferguson, they wanted to get rid of Andy Harris's congressional seat. And he said, no. He said, this is like plain politics. No, you just want to get rid of him because he's a Republican. You want to have 8 straight, you know, Democrat congressional offices here, and they fought hard, and now the Democrats turn on Mr. Ferguson, and they want to get rid of him and outseat him because he didn't want to get rid of Andy Harris, the only conservative or the only Republican congressman in Maryland. So it's ridiculous stuff like that. It's interesting to see how the Democrats turn on each other, how the Republicans turn on each other. But I really feel with the loss of Dan Crenshaw that this really pushes the momentum for more conservatives to win, even in purple districts, in my opinion, because I feel that the momentum has shifted because of President Trump, because of others, because we're winning again. You know, our country is winning again. Our economy is doing much better. Yes, there's a lot of noise going on, but I can tell you because I travel around this country now, there's so much momentum for conservatives and young conservatives and people with fresh minds, you know, to really, you know, get in there, to really get in there and make a difference. And that's the truth. That's really the truth. Let's put up the last couple slides. Damon, share, please. So this is another one about, okay. Yeah, it's another one about Jasmine Crockett. Okay, skip that. What's the next one? Oh, this is a really funny meme that came out. It shows Jasmine Crockett and Dan Crenshaw. They're like smoking a doobie outside of the hall. That's really funny. There's another one with Jasmine Crockett. Oh, here. So that's the one about Texas AG Ken Paxton and Rhino Senator Jan Cornyn are heading to a runoff. Again, you know, predictions. And I'll say this before the end of the segment. What do you guys, you know, according to what you know of President Trump, what you think of President Trump, do you think, in your opinion, and a show of hands, is President Trump going to endorse Ken Paxton? Let's put up a show of hands. Really? Only 3.
I don't know.
Interesting. Why, Damon? Why don't you think he'll endorse Ken Paxton?
Because Trump, I watch him endorse different people. If he does, maybe he'll do it late. And I don't know what his meaning for it is. Sometimes Christine Serrano-Glasser that ran for Senate 2 years ago, he gave an endorsement, but it was like way too late. So I just don't know. I never know what Trump's thinking unless he says it.
Right.
You know, that's the only thing about Trump. When he's thinking something, he's going to tell you. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what he's thinking beforehand until he comes out of his mouth. So I'm not sure. I don't
you know, Alexandra, we watched Trump take his time in New Jersey between Bill Spady and Jack Ciattarelli. I feel like he wants to be more careful who he endorses now. He wants to make sure they are on his team because he got burned from some people in 2016, you remember. Right. So he's a lot more careful who he endorses. Spadia looked like his man for a while. We saw all these pictures with him and Spadia, but that is not who he endorsed. So he does hold out for quite a while. And I'm not convinced he'll go for Paxton. I just think he's playing it a little safer these days. And he's got all the cards in his hand. He just waits until he's ready.
Yep. That's true. That's a really
good
point.
He doesn't endorse me, just invite me to Mar-a-Lago, that's all.
You can go down to Mar-a-Lago all the time, anytime. You don't need an invite. Just an FYI.
No, but
let me go down there. But anyway, guys, we have to cut this segment because we only have 10 minutes left of the show, and I want to get to the last segment. So again, guys, don't forget we're on Spotify now. We are on YouTube. We're on True Social. We're on Instagram. We're on Parler. We're on Facebook. We're on X. We're on all the major outlets now. Again, you can listen to us on Spotify. watch us on Rumble, on True Social, on YouTube, all at the same time. If you have a whole household full of people like Damon Galdo does, you can have, Heather watching you on YouTube and Rumble, and then one child watching you on X and True Social, another child watching you on TikTok and X. So there's so many multiple different ways that we can be watched. Also, if you go to AmericasPulseNetwork.com, you can actually watch us now live. Every episode we do, go to our website. We are live now, which is awesome. So, and we love Donald Willinger. He's one of our regulars. He's awesome. But yeah, guys, go to our website now. Watch us, follow us live, and we'll be right back after the break.
Hey, it's great to be on with you. This is a great podcast. It's a lot of fun, and it's informative, and it's real information. It's none of the frills and none of the nonsense that you hear on the legacy media, just telling the story of what's happening right now. It's what I do with my newsletter that I get out to anybody who wants to see it. It's what you're doing with this podcast. America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal.
Well, thanks, guys. Welcome back. So for those of you who don't know, we have been on this network for exactly a year. Our originators, of course, Damon Galdo, myself, Conservative Corner, Seth Eisenberg, and Eleana.
Congratulations.
You guys have been with us for a year. Also, my friend Tim Fazenmaker, I thank him for hosting the Pulse a couple weeks ago. He's been with us from the beginning too. But this has been an amazing year, and we've had some amazing highlights. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to put together all the highlights from the year. But Eleana, I kind of want you to tell, your banana story.
We tried to cut it beforehand, but we
couldn't do it in time.
You want me to tell it? Well, there was a
This is the first episode of the Pulse, guys. This is the first episode.
There was a story we were reacting to. There was a supermarket brawl, and there happened to be a bunch of Black women who were fighting and in the produce section. And they came to me and said, "What's your reaction?" And I said, I'm sick of people acting like this. I mean, is it really worth getting into a brawl in the supermarket over a banana? And Tim Fazenbaker said, "Did you have to say banana?" And maybe you had to be there, but I about fell over of embarrassment, and everybody else was delighted and had a great.
It was a funny clip. It was
a really funny moment. We'll have to find time to cut and paste it. But we were very fortunate. We attended our first CPAC. That's where I met Eleana and Damon Galdo for the first time, and it was awesome. I mean, we got to interview some great people. I got to cover the president throughout the entire CPAC, and it was amazing. I mean, that was kind of like the real launch of our network, because we did CPAC, and then the first episode was exactly March 4th. So we had to do a lot of that editing before we started. And then, of course, we started the Pulse later. And we're actually, I'm going to be going to CPAC at the end of this month in honor of our network, and also to cover the president as well. So that's also something that's been a big accomplishment. Also, being the White House correspondent has been a great accomplishment. Everything that you hear about Baltimore County is because of me. A lot of things that are told about what's going on with the illegal criminals, illegal aliens, and the Francis Scott Key Memorial Bridge, and things with transportation. A lot of that is because of our network behind the scenes. So that's been really awesome. And I will be going more to the White House throughout this entire year.
Great.
And bringing other people as well, of course.
Not me.
Of course I'll bring you, Seth. I'll bring you in a wheelchair. I don't care.
Don't let me out. They keep me in a box.
Yeah, we'll be zooming
I want to ask
through
you,
the VA.
I want to ask you, since you're moderating tonight, do you think we should have the man behind the curtain show up, pop on right now? The other Damon.
Damon Sherrod? Yeah. Damon Sherrod, pop on for a second.
He's the one that does all this stuff,
Yeah.
All together. Come on, Damon. David Sherrod.
Damon, can you pop on?
David Galdo, David Sherrod. There he is.
No, honestly, if it wasn't for Damon Sherrod, none of this would happen. Damon Sherrod takes care of the press. He takes care of myself. He's going to be taking care of Jack and Constance, and he's helped a lot, and Damon Galdo, and he's helped out staff, and he helps out with everybody. So we couldn't have done this without you, Damon Shared. We really appreciate it. And Damon Shared is the reason why we are on all of these networks, why we're on Spotify now, why we're on Facebook and True Social and Parler, and he keeps us all in check. And we really.
And we just went on Substack.
Oh, nice! Okay. A new one. There we go. Substack.
He yells at us a lot too because we get.
Oh my God! I've been yelling at him.
We get something too late.
So mostly me. Mostly me.
And also, Damon Shared, I think you told us we're like full enterprise now. We have 15 connections now.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's really awesome. That's really awesome. And we couldn't have done it without him, you know? I have a special announcement to make because I am the White House correspondent because of the support that I have for Donald Trump. Before I went to Hungary, I had the pleasure of going and meeting someone who works under Mr. Orban, who's the president of Hungary. So I didn't get to meet Mr. Orban because he was campaigning, because he has a re-election campaign coming up. But I got to meet his deputy secretary of state named Marton. And I met him in person in Budapest. We were together for almost 2 hours in Orban's private study. And as a result, we have our first international exclusive interview with Mr. Marton Thursday, March 12th. So he gets the full hour. This will be a huge thing for our network. Please repost, reshare. I mean, the guy is just an amazing person. He loves Trump. He's all about energy. And I'm very happy and fortunate that he is giving up his time. He's 6 hours ahead of us. So please, guys, and I'll keep promoting that throughout the week, but that is a surprise exclusive. So, you know, that's something that's brand new for our network. So I want to share that. Also, I want to show, or Damon Shared, please show the new promo to Jack Brangan and Constance Ditzel's show.
New Jersey State House Watch is on. From Trenton, we explain what's happening inside the State House, speaking directly with legislators, policymakers, and budget experts to bring you the facts behind the decision.
There's no doubt that energy bills are about to skyrocket.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Through you, I would ask if the sponsor would yield for.
Madam Clerk, please have a machine for a vote.
Receive 46 votes in the affirmative, 25 in the negative.
We break down bills as they move through the New Jersey legislature before they become law. With your hosts, Jack Brangan and Constance Ditzel.
And $300 million to Newark billionaires, that ain't cutting it for rural New Jersey.
So stick around. Here's Jack and Connie.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we are excited about, you know, our first show coming up, and
awesome.
You know, maybe Connie, you want to explain the origin of this? Do we have time?
You have about a minute.
Just a few pointers here. We both ran for assembly, as many people know, and of course we didn't win. And we're like, what can we do? What can we do? And the best thing we thought we could do is try to inform people about really what's going on in New Jersey, because we felt there was a hole there, that there was not any information coming out all the time about these laws that are being pushed through. And when you watch these people go through and put through 130 bills in one day that they've barely had time to research, and that the supermajority just races them through, and it's astounding. So we thought we need to let people know, because there are still people, I met one tonight, who flipped from being a Democrat to a Republican in New Jersey because of the homeschool situation. She couldn't take the gender ideology. She's homeschooling her children, and now the state is after the homeschoolers. So we felt we just need to make people aware.
Right. So every show will have a policymaker, an activist, someone in New Jersey that is, influencing the law, the policies, and things in general in Trenton. So it's going to be a New Jersey focused podcast, and we've got 4 people lined up already. One of which is Paul Kenitra, who's one of the rock star legislators in Trenton, and we're real excited. So there'll be somebody at the table for every show. that we'll be interviewing.
Awesome. And when is your show? When does it start?
March 10th. March 10th, kickoff. It'll the second and fourth Tuesdays. We're going to have 2 a month. New Jersey State House Watch is the name.
Nice.
We'll be on all the networks that APN is on, and likewise, people can go to the NewJerseyStateHouseWatch.com and watch the show. You can see it live there, and we'll also be the podcast will be downloadable on Spotify and Amazon Music, so and Apple as well. So,
Nice.
so we're excited.
I'm excited. And again, that's something, that's new coming into, after our first year. So we have some really exciting things going on, guys. There's some great interviews. We have a brand new show. We are expanding our network. We're getting more podcasters. And also, we encourage people to sponsor our show all the time, whether they want to sponsor The Pulse, sponsor Jack and Connie's show, my show, Damon's show, Seth's show, Eleana, doors always open, guys. Just go to AmericasPulseNetwork.com. Don't forget to go on our website and fill out the sponsorship forms, fill out the podcaster forms. And this has been a great hour and a half. And I mean, when we started The Pulse, I was just so excited, about the show and what we do. And it's so nice because we never know which 5 people we're going to have on. Sometimes it's 4 people. We've even had 3 people at one point. But, I just want to thank everybody for, being here every week. And the commitment that we have given, to this network has been amazing. It's been really awesome. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alexandra.
Well, congratulations to everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Alexandra. Appreciate it. Love Seth. Stay out of the hospital, buddy. But I love getting him riled up. But
yeah, this year has been awesome for Seth's foot. He can just do a whole segment on the year of his foot.
I did. My first podcast was all about my foot.
Yeah, his first podcast of us.
I had pictures in 3D.
Oh my
I love that.
Also, speaking of people running for office, Damon Galdo, please promote yourself and how our viewers can donate to you.
Yeah, well, everyone already knows my social media from all this stuff. So, but go to votedamongaldo.com. And you'll see my platform. You'll see what I'm about. This is going to be the fight of my life, actually.
Background.
Yeah, then the kid just ran in here with the dog. That's what it was. So I tried to keep him out, but my wife is at the Sixers game. My daughter, she was performing at the pregame time.
Well, people, please donate to Damon Galdo so he can, get rid of the dog. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Damon, I was getting signatures for you tonight. So one of the reasons I came on later is I got signatures for you tonight. So
right, but yeah, go to votedamongaldo.com, and I hate asking this, but click on the donate button. I'm going up against the juggernaut and Donald Norcross. He's already had over $2 million. I have like $2, so I'm a regular guy. So he's entrenched, and but a lot of people are fed up with him, and I have some things in my back pocket that I'm going to go after.
But you've been endorsed by a lot of people from the GOP, so that's really good.
Yes, all 3 counties that I cover.
That's amazing. And I know Justin Murphy, he's been doing really good with endorsements as well.
He just got Mercer County today.
I know, I read. Yeah, Justin Murphy, we love him. We endorse him. We support him. He's kicking butt. We hope that he wins the primary because he's awesome. Very smart guy. Very smart guy.
Well, just donate to my campaign first, please, and then go to Justin afterwards.
Of course. Of course, yes. And please, guys.
Or just split it. We'll split it. We'll split it.
Right. And Seth will always tell you, donate to the candidate, do not donate to the party, because if you donate to the party, the candidate gets no money. So always donate to the candidate themselves. It's better, and you know where your money's going to. Because I can tell you, I've donated to parties before. The money does not go to the candidate.
No, it doesn't. Jack knows that.
It doesn't.
Knows that.
No.
It doesn't. I know that from firsthand. When I worked with Ron DeSantis, my father put the check in Ron's hand personally because there was a guy from the party that said, "Oh, I'll take it. I'll give it to Ron." My father said, "No, Ron, come here." Ron's like, "Hey, Rick," and he just gave it. He put it right in his hand. And we watched Ron put the check in his coat pocket because that's the way you do it. That is the way you do it. But anyway, guys, thank you guys all for being here. And just very quick, how can we all follow you on social media? Connie go, then Jack go, then Elena go, then Seth go, then Damon go.
Thank you.
Connie, go.
Yeah. Connie, go.
Oh, you want
sweetie?
Our handles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just very
so
quickly.
We have www.njstatewatch.com, but also you can reach me on Connie for nj@gmail.com. Also the same handle for X, NJ Statehouse, Facebook, NJ Statehouse Watch. Those are the main ones.
Awesome. Jack, how can we follow you?
I would say go right to NJ, New Jersey State House Watch, NJ State House Watch on our website, on Facebook, or X. So you can find me there.
Perfect. Eleana, how can we follow you?
You can find me at The Based Mother on all of the above social channels that everyone has already mentioned.
Awesome. Seth, how can we follow you?
Facebook, the Conservative Corner, and then I'm on X, the Conservative Corner. But I'm mostly on Facebook, not so much on X. So Facebook's probably the best way. And on here, Wednesdays.
Awesome. And Damon?
Well, for the sake of time, I'll just say everyone knows where to follow me. It's going to show it after this. So, but VoteDamonYellow.com. That's the biggest one. But everyone knows where to find me on social media. That's watching. It's easy. So, thank you very much, Alexandra, for hosting tonight. And
you're welcome. It's a pleasure. Yeah, don't forget my show's tomorrow night. It's live, 8:00 p.m. I'm back from vacation from Budapest. So I'll talk to everybody about my trip and how wonderful it was. But we're in campaign mode now. So you're going to start to see me interviewing a lot of candidates and a lot of campaigns. So you guys know how to follow me, Alexandra Levine at Alexandra Levine 20 on X. I'm very accessible. So thanks guys for watching. And of course, the pulse of America bleeds for God, for country, and for freedom. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
America's Pulse Network thanks you for watching tonight's episode of the Pulse Podcast. See you at the next packed episode that will take you from breaking news to informative topics. So please click on the subscribe button to get notified for upcoming episodes. If you liked what the Pulse covered, then share the Pulse Podcast with others. APN's The Pulse hosts look forward to seeing you on the next episode.